Yo, what is up guys, Grim here, and in today's video I wanted to share with you guys how I plan to solve PoE and also a little bit of an update on the direction of this channel. So, solving PoE, what does that even mean? So by solving, I mean figuring it out completely. For the most part. A lot of games have been solved. I would describe League of Legends for the most part as solved. StarCraft, StarCraft 2, some other games as well. They have a meta game, they have things that everyone knows good, and they're locked in. Those are facts. PoE obviously changes every 3 months, but I feel like that there is a core meta game that a lot of people do know, who are in the know have just been good for so damn long, and that has not changed. But people can't, but they don't understand that. They don't have the insight into that. For some reason, that information just doesn't kind of permeate out to new players. It's not accessible enough, and that frustrates me. I would really like to see everybody have access to what is the best right now in PoE. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and overall, I think that there needs to be a place you can go to understand what the best players think is the best builds for League Start right now. And I plan to create that place. I'm going to pair up with some of the top players in the game. I've already discussed this with them and they're happy to help. And I'm going to create a website which essentially features the top builds in the game. I'm going to show off, this is obviously a little bit out of date, but understand this is just a mock-up of what it could look like. I'm essentially going to have a number of solid curated build guides created by some of the best in the industry of PoE, and they're going to be on display for everyone to consume and use, and they're going to feature, like, for example, the unique cost budget, as well as them ranked in terms of power, and I'm going to try and get enough flavors so everyone can kind of find something that they would resonate with. It's going to feature basically like a trailer of the build, all sorts of stuff like that. And this is kind of what I'm planning on doing, full skill tree, all sorts of stuff like that, and the links. And also gear progression and kind of like where you can move with the build. I plan on having all of that for a number of builds, and I really want players to have a place they can come to and get a really good breakdown of what builds are good right now for this league coming up, and make sure that they feel confident that that build will take them through and be able to beat the field as long as they get to the end amount of gear, and not have it cost 100 exalts or something like that. Somewhere they can go and they know this is going to work, and also be in a really, really good, easy to consume, highly curated, refined format. So that's number one. I want to solve league starters, and I want to essentially solve the metagame of getting to the end game and finishing the game for new players and old players alike. We all just want to be able to get through the game and finish it and then have fun with whatever else we want to do. And I think having somewhere which will show you how you can get there in a variety of different ways will be really, really good for the game, and also really, really good for the community, because it'll let people get to that end game where it all starts to really come alive. So that's number one. Number two, currency making. So I've spent the last 3 years pretty much making random currency videos, whether it's farming divination cards or all sorts of stuff like that. The game has changed a lot since then, but overall, I feel like I've made some of the same videos multiple times now, just because it's a new league, what's the prices now? So overall, a little while back, I came up with the idea of essentially compiling a massive amount of data based on hundreds and hundreds of drops and boss runs, to basically understand the drop tables of some of these bosses. For example, Shaper. I've run hundreds of Shaper, and I now have a pretty damn good idea of what the drop table of Shaper is. Obviously, no one's going to have the exact drop table of Shaper, because, you'd have to run 10,000 of him to get an exact one. But it's a pretty damn close drop table, I would say, within, 10 to 15%. And you can pretty roughly calculate how much money you would expect to make off of Shaper. And I've linked this up to the PoE Ninja prices with the help of my web developer, shoutouts. I think this basically gives you a pretty damn good picture of what you can expect to make by doing different pieces of content in the game. And it's right there, it's live right now. Obviously it needs some updating. For example, the Delirium Orb, all of the Delirium Orb rewards were reworked. I have to get back to that and get into that, but obviously that requires time. But overall, I think this is a pretty good place to come, but it's not new player friendly enough. There's still people on Reddit asking how to make currency. There's still people who don't know how to make currency. It's no secret that if you know what you're doing, you can make 10 or 20 exalts in a 3 or 4 hour play session. It's completely possible. Even with a completely trash character, you can do that in Heist. You can easily make 10 exalts in 4 hours if you know what you're doing and you're running the correct heists with the correct setup. That's all it really takes. overall. Now, it really frustrates me that I can't help these people because I have to I don't have a tool for them, right? So I fully plan to completely flesh this out. The overall goal is to add every single piece of farmable content that has deterministic rewards. So for example, if you take a look at Legion, when you open up the Legion in here, you can see that I've only included the Legion specific rewards, which you can pretty much guaranteed get. So the incubators, the uniques, and the timeless jewels. So of course you're going to earn a significant more amount of profit off of this activity, but I like to keep things conservative and I like to undersell different methods to make sure that it's always going to pretty much earn you money, which in 5 ways it will if you run enough of them with these current figures. There's obviously a lot to be added, but essentially I want to do this for every single piece of content, all the way from blinded maps all the way to simulacrums. I would like to get that on the website and have it auto updating off Pee-wee Ninja. If you're interested in helping me, send me a Discord DM and maybe we can work something out. Overall, I also want to write league guides for everything, including betrayal, heist, all sorts of stuff like that. I want to have a place where people can come to and have it be a source of truth for the game, because people talk about the depth of PoE, the complexity. I think if there was a place where you could come and there were highly curated, very well and compact written guides on each league mechanic, that would do a lot for the community. The wiki is great, but I feel like sometimes there's a little bit of misinformation there that you cannot avoid without having it all written by 1 or 2 people. And that is something that I hopefully will be able to solve in the future, sometime in the future. Obviously, it's a lot of work, but I do plan on hopefully going down that route as well and adding that to the website. So the overall vision for kind of how I plan on solving PoE, at least for the masses, obviously there is going to be more advanced stuff, which I won't be able to automate and automatically track. Things like Harbinger and Valdo's Rest is kind of difficult to track. What I want to do is have most of the basic ways to make currency basically on display, and I can show you how much you're probably going to make on average minimum. I would like to have some basic league starters or builds that can do the entire game and feel good and are considered the best. So for example, some good examples would be Toxic Rain, Playful Blade Blast, Totems, and maybe a few others, like those kind of builds. Which are really, really easy to pick up and run through the whole game with. I think that would be really, really good. And then I also want to have some form of guides for new players so you can have a place to come to really pick up all of the mechanics that you don't understand, the nuances of it, the tiny little nuances of it. I would like to have that all documented, as I am someone who loves to get into that kind of stuff like that. And I think that I can create guides which would be pretty suitable for that. Alright, so that's how I plan on solving PoE for the currency, the builds, and hopefully for the new player problems. And that'll kind of define a basic metagame for PoE. These are the good builds to start with. These are the good currency strategies to start with. It'll get you into a place where you can start off with, and then you can go from there. You can get into your crazy Vol skill, cast on damage take, and all sorts of stuff like that from there, and you can kind of do what you want. Alright, next up, where is this channel going to go in the future? So, as you guys have probably seen, I've been posting like mad. Sometimes I've been posting 4 videos a day. If you guys didn't know, you can't actually do that. YouTube stops promoting your videos after you post 4 videos a day, but it is what it is. I learned that the hard way. I also learned a lot of other lessons. My most recent video I actually had to delete because I learned the lesson that you must always test things yourself before you commit to promoting something. There was an interaction with a ring, which I hadn't perfectly tested myself, and I misrepresented a little bit. So I decided, I don't want to spread information, so I took that video down. So I've been learning a lot of lessons very, very quickly, and you've seen me probably try a lot of new things. So I kind of want to address where this channel is going to go in the future and what I want to do with my content moving forward. So as you may have noticed, I am a little bit over the whole kind of currency, making. I hate the I made 82 exalts in an hour kind of title. I don't particularly think that that is very compelling or entertaining content, and I know for a fact that there's no way that I'm really going to reach my goals as a content creator making that kind of content. It's not content that really resonates with that many people overall, and it's not content that everyone in PoE wants to consume. So I really want to move more towards entertainment content that you enjoy, you laugh at, you have fun with, and that's the content I really enjoy watching. And some of my inspirations have been channels like I Will Dominate, and also, who else? There's a bunch more, like Disguised Toast is pretty good as well. Kind of channels which move towards the kind of comedic kind of value and entertainment value. And you guys can see that, me trying that out in one of my most recent videos, which is the PoE Olympics. And I do really want to move towards that. It's not to say that all of the science stuff is going to go away. Absolutely not. That'll still be very heavily present on the channel. It probably will just be a little bit less of these kind of flash in the pan Atlas strategies. I fully intend to continue on with the min-max lifestyle. Obviously, that's going to be what powers the website behind the scenes. All of that min-max stuff, all of that kind of build stuff will be present on the channel, but I do also want to pursue that story-based content moving forward as well, as I really, really do think that's very, very interesting and fun to watch. And I think overall that is something that everyone can appreciate in the PoE community, and a lot of people did really enjoy that from my last video when we tested it out, that heavily edited one. So overall, what can you expect from the channel? So I might go dark for a few days here and there as I am working on the website, and I'm trying to bring that up to a point where I'm happy with it. The goal is to have all that done and ready by PoE 2 overall. But also you can also expect more of the edited kind of entertainment kind of side of things, but also expect heavy min-max videos on certain specific topics. Like for example, right now I'm really getting into Blight. I'm trying to min-max Blight and really understand how the mechanic works perfectly. So A, I can write a guide on it, and B, so I can put it on the website. In addition to that, I'm also doing Heist. So expect a full contract calculator, which essentially is like you can put in how much your contracts cost, beep, 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 and then also it spits out how much you can expect to make based on my data. So expect that that'll be there on the website soon as well, and you can expect a lot of crazy new stuff from Grimro in the coming months. And this is all before I hopefully one day go full time that's kind of where we're at. If you guys like the direction, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. If you have any feedback for me overall, definitely let me know down in the comments. I actually thrive on feedback. If you have literally anything at all that you want to tell me, I will read it and I will take it on board. So thank you very much everyone for coming on this journey with me, and we'll see where we go. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.